It was raining, the kind of rain that didn't just fall but wept from the sky. On a busy street in Lagos, everyone rushed past a little girl sitting by a small bakery window, drenched, shivering, her tiny hands clutching an empty paper cup. "Do you have any expired cake?" she asked softly to anyone who'd listen. Most didn't even look at her. But one man stopped, a man who had everything. And in that moment, he realized maybe he had nothing at all. This is the story of how a billionaire's heart was changed forever by a girl who only wanted a piece of expired cake. Obi had been named Business Leader of the Year 3 times. He owned luxury hotels, tech companies, real estate, and everything that wealth could buy. Yet behind his tailored suits and bodyguards, there was an emptiness that success couldn't fill. His days were a blur of meetings, and his nights were filled with silence. That evening, he was driving through Lagos Island in his sleek black Rolls-Royce. Frustrated after losing another business deal, the city lights reflected on the wet asphalt like broken stars. His driver slowed near a small bakery, the kind of cozy shop that smelled like home. And there she was, a thin girl, no older than 8, sitting cross-legged on the sidewalk, wearing a torn hoodie 2 sizes too big. Her lips trembled as she looked through the bakery window at a cake, old, untouched, pushed to the side. Chike didn't know why, but something inside him stirred. "Stop the car," he said. The driver hesitated. "Sir, this isn't." "Stop the car." Chike stepped out, the rain soaking his expensive shoes. The girl looked up, startled. Her eyes were gray, not lifeless, but tired, like someone who had seen too much for her age. "Hey," Chike said gently. "Are you okay?" She looked down quickly, embarrassed. "I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't begging from you. I just asked the bakery lady if she had any expired cake. I haven't eaten since yesterday." Her voice cracked mid-sentence. For a moment, Chike couldn't speak. He was used to people asking for business deals, investments, favors, but never expired cake. The bakery owner came out annoyed. "She sits there every evening." "Sir, I told her we don't give away free food. She should go to a shelter." Chike's jaw tightened. He reached for his wallet, but then stopped himself. Something about this moment felt different. It wasn't about giving money. It was about understanding. "What's your name?" he asked softly. "Lena," she whispered. "Lena Oluchi. Do you have family, Lena?" She hesitated. "I did. My mom, she used to bake cakes like those. She passed away 2 months ago. I ran away from the foster home because they were mean. I just wanted to find her old bakery. She used to say, 'There's always sweetness left, even in what's expired.'" Her words pierced him. Chike looked at the bakery window again at that one old cake nobody wanted. Something about it felt symbolic, forgotten, like her. He bought the whole cake. The baker looked confused, but Chike simply said, "It's for her." They sat under the awning, sharing it by hand. The girl's small fingers clutched each bite like it was treasure. She smiled for the first time, and that smile, that one innocent smile, broke something open in Chike's heart. He didn't know it yet, but that night would be the beginning of a journey that would change both of their lives forever. The next morning, Chike couldn't focus on his business meetings. The image of Lena's thin hands and trembling voice haunted him. He tried to push it away. He had bigger things to worry about. Yet, for the first time, the bigger things didn't feel important. He went back to the bakery. She wasn't there. Panic rushed through him in a way he couldn't explain. He told himself it wasn't his responsibility, but his heart refused to listen. He searched the nearby streets until he found her sleeping under a bridge, clutching a damp blanket. He knelt beside her, careful not to wake her. She looked so small, so fragile. When she opened her eyes, she looked scared. "Did I do something wrong?" she asked. "No," Chike said. "You did everything right, but I can't just walk away." He brought her to his penthouse, a world away from the cold streets. She stared at everything like she was in a dream. The marble floors, the chandeliers, the endless city view. But instead of excitement, she whispered, "It's too big. I don't belong here." Chike smiled sadly. "Neither do I sometimes." Over the next few weeks, Chike made arrangements: legal guardianship, schooling, therapy. But more than that, he began to change. He canceled meetings to have breakfast with Lena. He started visiting children's shelters, funding programs to help orphans. The press called it the billionaire's redemption. But to Chike, it wasn't redemption, it was love rediscovered. Then one evening, Lena gave him a small box. Inside was a charm, a tiny piece of an old cake mold, the one her mother used to own. "I found it in the old bakery," she said softly. You helped me remember that even old things can still make something new. Tears filled Chike's eyes. Lena, you didn't just find sweetness in the expired. You brought sweetness back into my life. Years later, that same bakery reopened, restored by Chike, and named Lena's Grace. Every evening, it gave out free cakes to children who couldn't afford them. Above the door, a sign read, "There's always sweetness left, even in what's expired." And every time Chike saw a child smile as they bit into a warm slice of cake, he remembered that rainy night. The night a homeless girl asked for expired cake, and a billionaire found his heart again. Sometimes the richest people are the ones with nothing, and sometimes the poorest are the ones who have forgotten how to love. Kindness costs nothing but can change everything.